Hello, everyone. Welcome back. How are we doing? The throws were back yesterday at USA's. We had men's discus, women's shot put. Recording this video on a bit of a time crunch, especially because the meet starts at like noon today, and it's currently 7:35 in the morning. So we're gonna fly through this men's discus right off the bat. Oh, before we start, same deal as last time, where all of the interviews I got yesterday, I already have those uploaded on this channel, combined into one video. We got Robbie O'Tall, Sam Mattis, Reggie Jagers, Marcus Gustafson, Chase Jackson, Jada Ross, and Jessica Ramsey. Great lineup of interviews. If you guys want to go listen to those, I'll link that in the description down below. All right, let's get into men's discus, where Reggie Jagers, first time since 2018, gets back on the U.S. team. First time since 2021, makes the U.S. or no, first time since 2018 wins the U.S. title. First time since 2021, makes the U.S. team. This was big for Reggie. He throws 66-85 in round 3 to take the win, and it's a great series from him where he goes 66-85, also 66-55, and 65-17. And his fifth throw was a pretty big foul that he told me afterwards he felt really good about. So this is super encouraging for Reggie, especially because talking with him after, he said 4 weeks ago, he was not lifting at all. And like he's been dealing with back injuries in the early part of the season, which makes sense looking at his marks. But then when he finally gets healthy and is starting to be able to train somewhat normally, you see him go like 63 mid, I think it was in LA, and then a shade under 65 at Ed Murphy, and then 68-50 in Ramona, and now almost 67 here at Hayward. So Reggie is in really good form. He's getting better as the season moves along. And like now he's got 6 more weeks to try and build on what he's already done. Like we've seen where he's come in just the last month since his back has started to get healthier. And so thinking about where he potentially could be by the time we get to Tokyo, it's a pretty exciting thing to think about. And it's just so good to see because Reggie has had so many injuries the last couple years, even took a year off from throwing. And now he makes his way back onto the US team. So that was super exciting to see. Sam Mattis finishes second, 65-56, makes his 6th US team in a row. And like Sam's series was just incredible because, like I said, best 65-56, also threw 64-82, 64-09, 64-06. And I mean, it's another one where he wasn't happy with it. Like, I know he would have liked to win, but also he wasn't super happy with the way his throw was feeling. But he was happy about having those kind of marks on a bad day. So Sam is another one. Like, this is from start to finish, it's been the best season of his career. He started out so hot at, I think it was at Triton or some meet in California where he threw a PB, and then obviously going to Ramona. He's been consistent throughout the year, and now this is obviously, it would have been nice to see him win the national title, but it's a really strong mark. And yeah, if he's throwing that on a day that he's not super happy with, and there were a lot of things he kind of pinpointed as to like this could be better, blah 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 blah. It's encouraging to see like with Reggie and Sam, like they could be this year. It's going to be as tough as any other year in history to try and medal at Worlds, but like they very well could be in the mix of things, judging off of how frustrated they were with really solid days yesterday, and then also knowing like the top end that we've seen from both of them. Marcus Gustafson finishes third. He does the same thing his good buddy Joe Brown did last year, where it's round 6. He moves up from 4th into 3rd, jumps ahead of Andrew Evans, and earns his first spot on Team USA. That was such an incredible moment to see because, like, afterwards, he was hugging Joe, and he went over and hugged Shelby Frank, his girlfriend, and it was just a great moment because he's been grinding away at this for such a long time. Last year was really kind of a breakout for him where, he gets the standard in Ramona, and then there's still some skepticism about it. He comes to USA's and throws 60 or he comes to trials last year, throws like 65 something and finishes, I think, 5th maybe. Really kind of solidifies it, like, he can be a contender. Then this year from start to finish has just it's been really strong for him. There's been a couple dips here and there, um, but now he throws 64-51, shows as much clutch as you can possibly have, and earns himself a spot to Tokyo, which is really cool. And he was doing this, representing Velasa and Throwtown Ramona and the SEAL Throwing Club, which it's just so special, knowing, like, what those 2 things, Ramona and Velasa, like, what they mean to the throwing world. So I asked him a little bit about that as well, and it really is, special to see those kinda get represented on the US stage like that when they've done so much to offer really, really good opportunities, to throwers in the US and across the world. So, Reggie, Sam, Marcus, that's the team for Tokyo. And it's a really good team, like, obviously, Sam's thrown 71-27, Marcus has thrown 70 technically, but even in legal competition, he's thrown 69, and then Reggie, I believe he's thrown 69 before and threw 68.5, like, 2 weeks ago, so this is like I said, there's no, like, easy path to a medal at Worlds, um, so it's really tough to say that that's even, like, a possibility, I guess, but the team we're sending is strong, and they should absolutely be capable of competing against truly the best of the world, which I can't wait to see. Heart breaks a little bit for Andrew Evans, who had a great series going over 64 twice, over 63, but he just couldn't quite have it in the end, and then didn't have the answer to Marcus once he passed him in that 6th round. Texas Tanner stepped up big, 62-92. Robbie O'Tall, solid day, not what he was hoping for, only 62-52, but 6th is his best finish ever at a USA's, and just the growth he's shown this season, even without this finish that he would have hoped for at USA's is really impressive. Top 8 all over 62-15. That's really impressive. I mean, last year was just kind of an outlier with like 7 guys over 65, but this one, the like high end marks weren't there that much, but the depth was definitely still there. Like I was looking on Reggie's World Athletics page, and in 2021, when he was runner up at trials, he was runner up at like 62.5 or something, and that would have placed him like 7th today. So that really just shows the development we've seen in discus in the US over the last couple years, which has been really fun to watch. Moving on to women's shot now. Chase Jackson is a freak of nature. She's apparently been dealing with a hurt finger coming into this one, but that did not stop her from throwing 20-84, just smashing one on her very first throw. And then with that hurt finger, she puts together probably the best series of her career, one of the best series ever. 20-84, 20-56, fouls in 3 and 4, 20-21, 20-50. That's ridiculous. And it's the same thing I that it's been really interesting hearing a lot of different throwers talk about raising their floor this year. I've heard Rudy talk about it. You hear Sarah Mitten talk about it. I think Reggie and Sam were kind of in that same mindset without necessarily saying it, with how well they threw yesterday while still not being super happy with it. And for Chase, like she said, like she feels like her floor now is like 20-40. And like she should be throwing at least that basically every meet. And like it's justified because it's been like 5 weeks or something since Ironwood now, where we first saw her throw 20-95. And so she's been just in this form for a long time now, and it's like it's here to stay. It's clearly not like a flash in the pan performance. It's not like she just hit one really good cycle in training or whatever. Um, from, like, Ironwood to Pre. Like, it's something that is, able to be replicated, and she's doing that. And she just the best quote I think I've gotten from any thrower across the first 2 days of competition here, across the first 2 days of throwing, I should say, here at USA's, is Chase was talking about Worlds in Tokyo, and she was like, "The chance of 5 or 6 women being over 20 is so real. The only difference is I'll be over 21." And I'm like, "God damn." That goes hard. And I mean, it very well might be true. Who knows? Like maybe Sarah Mitten or Jessica Schilder could join her over 21. But yeah, Chase is it's coming. She said she likes the conversation of every time she's like is in a meet that she likes the expectation of like, oh, this is gonna be the one. This is gonna be the one where she throws 21. So I'm gonna keep saying that every time she competes. Um, but yeah, just as impressive of a day for Chase as you could have expected, especially considering, the finger injury she's been dealing with. Maggie Ewan, 1994, in a really strong series. She tacks on a centimeter to her post-broken foot PB. And, I mean, yeah, she's just we knew she's been back. This is just a confirmation of her being back because she was so well clear of the field at this kind of competition. Um and she's got 6 more weeks to keep building. And Maggie, did she medal in 23? I don't think she did. I'll have to double check that. But obviously, like, the big 3 this year with Chase, Sarah, and Jessica feels it's such a tall task to unseat any of them, but, like, Maggie is showing she's in shape that, uh she definitely can pull something off like that, pull something like that off on the right day if maybe one of the big 3 doesn't have the right day. Um, but it's so exciting to see Maggie back in this kind of form because she is truly one of the best in history when she's throwing really well, and we're seeing her closer and closer and closer to being back there, every single competition it feels like, so that's really fun. Jessica Ramsey, 70 centimeter season's best. Best throw since 2021. Makes her first outdoor team since 2021. Throws 1956 for third. Such an impressive showing. I mean, it's it's such a level up, and this one did shake out where well, she actually ended up beating Jada Ross, who finished 4th at 1933. Solid day for Jada. Probably a little bit under what, we were expecting, I guess, but, like, you can't necessarily be too upset with 1933 and making the team. But coming into this one, it was like Chase, Maggie, and Jada felt like a clear top 3, and then it was gonna be the pack behind them fighting for that last spot. And the pack was fighting, like, the depth of this competition was ridiculous. Maya Lesnar finished 8th and threw 1851. Abby Moore, 1867 with 2 other 1860s in there. Coco Odeluga, 1876. Jessica Woodard hits the season's best of 1910 to finish 5th. Like 5 women over 19, 8 over 1850. This was a ridiculous competition. But of those women that were going to be fighting for that last spot, it's Jessica Ramsey is the one who steps up. And like she's got the experience. She made it back to a world team earlier this year, making the team for World Indoors. And now, like, I mean, this is just such a breakthrough for her with her best throw in 4 years, the second best throw of her career regardless, like, and she's also coached by Coach Paul Wilson, who coaches Chase Jackson. So, obviously, that's working well. Unsurprisingly, Paul Wilson knows what he's doing. Um, but it's I'm very curious to see where she goes from here, because she's gonna wanna prove that this isn't just a one-time thing and that she can, produce marks like this on a consistent basis or something in this range, and, like, if she can, we very well could see 4 Americans in the world final, at least the top 12, maybe not necessarily the top 8, which is wild to think about. Um, But yeah, for Jessica, this one was huge. You could definitely tell in the mix zone after the like it meant a lot to her, and it was really exciting to see. And like I said, for Jade in 1933, solid day. Nothing too remarkable, especially considering her standards, throwing over 20 in this same ring about a month ago. But she's still a really young thrower. She's still got time. She gave me some insights into kind of the early part of her season where it was, especially the NCAA indoor season, where she didn't win the national title, which is like crazy to think about. Um, but she was just feeling a little burnt out coming off of the longest season of her career and then wasn't in super good shape. But I mean, she's back now. We've seen she's been back. And for all of these women, like seeing where they're at now and knowing they have 6 more weeks to get better until Worlds, it just it's so exciting to think about. That's all we've got for right now. We've got women's disc and men's shot coming up today, which should be really, really fun. Yeah, so I can't wait for those ones, but that's all I got. Like I said, link in the description for all of the interviews. P. Hoff Mahoney on Twitter, Polythrows on Instagram. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.